Hey y'all, Amy here. I hope y'all are doing well. Um, Once again, Libby is in here with me, so I'm gonna try to edit out the barking. We just had garbage pass by, so she is very, very upset. I wanted to get on here and talk about something new. I haven't really branched out from home fragrance very much, but I'm gonna start doing it. So with being home a lot more lately, I have gotten back into my creative side, and a hobby I started years ago but never really got heavy into was yarn dyeing. I like to knit. I am someone who loves sitting on the sofa with my needles and just making something really pretty with yarn. Um, when it comes to yarn, most of the time I use Lion brand or I think Vanna White's line's really nice and soft. But recently I started getting into indie dyers, and I purchased a couple of yarns from vendors who sold that. So like Madeline Tosh, Haute Knit yarn. I really love those colorful, fun variations in yarn. I grew up mostly in the 90s when Lisa Frank and the rainbows and glitter and all of that was really prevalent. So that never left. I'm just a big fan of those things. So I wanted to share with y'all some of the yarns that I've dyed lately, and also kind of a haul of yarns that I will be dyeing. So let's just start with the yarns that I will be dyeing to show y'all what it looks like before I dye them. So I purchased this from Dyer Supplier. This is a 75% 25% merino nylon fingering yarn, which means it's really thin, mostly for socks, but I like to knit really fine knit shawls and scarves with this. I haven't gotten into sock knitting yet. This yarn is so soft. It's about $5 or $6 a skein, which is not bad at all, and it's 415 yards, 100 grams, 3-ply yarn. Then I also purchased a couple of samples to try out. This one is the bouncy, is it Aran or Aran yarn? This is a thicker one. This is a thicker yarn, as you can see, versus what is called fingering yarn. So you can kind of see the difference there. This one's going to be mostly for scarves and hats and things like that. So I bought a couple skeins of this to dye up. And then I bought some, I wouldn't be a 90s, 80s, 90s kid, Lisa Frank loving kid if I didn't buy some sparkle. So these two yarns, can you see the sparkle in that one? Okay, this one has 20% stellina and it's more of a silvery base. This one has 10% stellina and it's more of a white base or an off-white base. So I purchased all these yarns to dye up because I kind of made, I'm getting back into knitting, I'm getting back into crafting, and I'm just feeling so creatively fulfilled. So I started with the yarn dyeing adventure. I started watching Chemknits, and that is a YouTube page where she dyes yarn using different dye types. So she uses anything from Kool-Aid, believe it or not. Yes, you can dye yarn with Kool-Aid, mostly the unsweetened packets, because you don't want sugar in your yarn, because you got to rinse all that out. And another cool thing is Easter egg dye pills. Dye pills, I don't know what these are called. So I bought these a few years back when I started yarn dyeing, but I never used them. I just kind of stopped doing it. But these little pills, I don't know what they're called. They also dye yarn. What you need to dye yarn is a dye of some type, some acid like white vinegar or citric acid, and heat. And that's generally how you do it. Today I'm not going to show you how to dye yarn, but I will say, if you are interested in that kind of thing, watch ChemKnits. But she really brings the chemistry into yarn dyeing to where it's really approachable, really easy to understand, and she goes step by step in her videos on how to do this. The first ones I want to show y'all, these were, oh, another medium that you use. These are used more by professionals because you have to be really careful with this. This is acid dye. This is a powder acid dye, and I have it in a bag for a reason because these are concentrated dyes and I don't want them to get on my carpet. When it comes to that, watch ChemKnits. Listen to her safety warnings about this. You have to wear a respirator. You have to do it in a well-ventilated area. I do it outside. I never do this inside. And you cannot use containers that you will be using with your food. So this kind of stuff, I don't even bring it inside to heat it. I use the sun to heat my yarn because I do not want this getting into my kitchen, into my home, because the particles contain chemicals that are not food safe. So, and plus not lung safe either. You got to wear a mask. You got to wear gloves. I wear gloves for everything I dye because I don't want it to get on me. But, so the first ones I made with acid dye and I love them. These are single ply worsted weight yarn cakes. They came out slightly different because these are cousins, right? I love these. And as you can tell, it felted. This is not what is called superwash yarn. Superwash yarn is a little more sturdy to washing and agitating. So they felted slightly, but they're so, so pretty. And these only used 3 acid dye colors. This was Dharma Acid, Bright Aqua, Fluorescent Fuchsia, and Fluorescent Lemon. They came out differently because obviously I did not do it consistently. But that's the beauty of yarn dyeing. These are going to my mom. She wants to use these for a project, but I just, oh my God, they're so, so pretty. I'm in love with them. I want to do this again with superwash yarn to see how it turns out, because as you can see, you see all the fuzzies? That just means it was agitated a little too much while I was washing the extra dye off, and it just was not happy. So I had to really, when I was winding this yarn into these yarn cakes, what they're called, I had to be really careful and pull apart yarn pieces because they were felting, which means they stick together. But yeah, isn't that beautiful? Oh my God, I just love it. I can't wait to see what she makes with this. The next 2 skeins, I used a mixture of Kool-Aid. Also, I forgot to mention food coloring. You can use food coloring. I used, so let me this is a mixture of Kool-Aid, Wilton food coloring, gel food coloring, and also, as you can see, the little speckles, that was done with crushed Easter egg dye pill things. So I watched ChemKnits video on how to do these techniques. This is dip dye. So if I take this apart, which I will, you can kind of see how it's dark violet and it starts to go to lighter violet, then to the pinks, and then to pink at the very end. Super pretty, super fun. And then I also, as you can see through it, you can see all the speckles, yellows, blues, purples, oranges, just really, really pretty. Love it. I think I'm gonna make a shawl out of this for someone as a gift. It's just so, so pretty. Let me go ahead and turn this back together into what's called a yarn hank. There you go. Just super pretty. I love how it came out. But the one that I love the most, because I am a fan of all things aqua, mint, turquoise, this bad boy right here. Oh my God, it's so pretty. So pretty. Okay, so this one, same idea. This was using Kool-Aid packets, food coloring to do the dip dye, and then another day I speckled with Easter egg dye tablets. Let me take this one apart and kind of show y'all how it goes from green to blue. So you got green, and then it starts to go to minty, to aqua, all the way to a really pretty, vivid blue. And you can see all the speckling throughout. Super pretty. It came out way better than I hoped. I can't wait to knit this one up. I mean, gosh, look how pretty. I love it. So that's one of the hobbies I have been getting into. Just watch ChemKnits videos if this is something you would be interested in. Like I said, take all of the safety precautions that she takes, because safety is important when it comes to especially dyes that are not food safe. You do not want to mix this with anything food, like any you don't want to dye in your food containers or anything like that, or rinse out in your food containers, because this acid dye is not food safe. So that's what I've been doing. I'm going to be doing more of it soon. I also bought a tie-dye kit to tie-dye some yarn. I just can't wait. I love it. It's fun. It's really pretty. And the results are just super cool. I'm not a professional dyer by any means. I'm not going to be selling this yarn. It's just going to be really cool to create something to gift to someone. So that's all I have to share. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Enjoy your week. And until next time, bye y'all.